Now, the intensity as to why I was showing you more violations is because the military is not allowed to do anything but to collect offenses, not lay down your arms. The military doesn't go and clean up debris. The military fights in wars. So, this is meaning that these ages of 13 to 17-year-olds can't be housed in anywhere else shown as these 20,000 unaccompanied alien children slogan. Migration violations as storing them on military base payrolls. We all pay income tax, housing credits to supply the military with payroll. McAllen, Texas, Arkansas, Little Rock, 3 military bases in Texas, New Mexico, Homestead, Florida. I said draw down the line. They cannot stay here and vote. So Health and Human Services has absolutely no legal authority over our military. That is who grounds the whole entire support, as called a military enforcement, accessing a DEA posting as the military command is an aviation of military enforcement, showing that they are not allowed to stand down orders. They are not allowed to allow corruption, nor being bribed. So, showing that the real agents have begun to see these quarters as diving, as many millions went off the line as can't vote as ballots. So the mob wants it all seen as everybody has to go back home. The longer you stay, the more it costs the mob. Showing of no enforcement as to assisting. Are you intending to bring more immigrants into the United States, calling yourselves as United Way? Uniting the families? Citizens United? Not allowed. This was an invalid sourcing that all Mexico needed to do was to make an announcement that all of their citizens return home. Atlanta failed all these calls. The use of detaching all these immigrants, as all of them are to be seen as returned back to the U.S. consulate as military bank accounts through all background support, as these migrants are to begin deportation. No use of the military equipment as listing payroll deductions. All this is shut down. I said so. So giving them all no military tribunal show off as send off back to Mexico's government as a policing protection is shown. All these last line prisoners of war slogan now falls. Quitting Hilton Head filers as resort stay home votes. Now our men and women are sleeping outside on this hot street. How would they like to live free of charge in cool air conditioning where they never have to leave? Exactly. The CIA lost all these military site commands as no slogan is these website locations. Raids as Osama bin Laden, as ID theft, as military planes will now load up all these helicopter enforcement, returning all these migrants back to their home database as operations plan to return the government from shortages and crediting a defending of government budget failures as to freeze asset IDs, assisting the federal government on all this shutdown of ballot box containing as hazing events or laser shows, being shown as mustard gas or smoking screens, nor joining an enlistment of military precision as a military command has been shown. I said so. All of these agencies are nor required to start sending any more immigrants to the United States as banking account listings as the United States military, transforming all these helms as military division is under a guns patrol payroll listing as orders to veto ballots, shut down this military equipment using the mob's cable lines against the United States citizen. This means no men's restroom laws may be paying this entire listing as held over or bailed out Sloans as misusing ID theft. I said so. So this attack on all of our databases and the enforcement of what is a welfare posting has been shown the military's facilities may not be used for anything but to house American men or brigade leadership as to fall out all of this company command, but being in under a full crediting of warrants as prisoners captured as being shown minors. This was to be given no more doorway access as to coordinate the return of all Mexico's citizens, not an option. The military can't ever become a corruption post as an abide by the uniforms code. This means handing them all over to the government of origin upon recognition of a shoulder to arms post. A salute. I said all branches of government guns are to be in compliance, as the infiltration has been shown as the mob's factories as factioning was the instigation now being deployed under orders as all these migrants are to bill pay no more bug spray, raid spray as being pest or pet control as being held in kennels. This was flea medicines. All are to be sent home at once. The operating basis taxes as military threat is shown the constraints to government confines. This was a dialect of intimidating factors. Land is beyond control, overthrowing all the mob's direction to infiltrate all the government's command. A posting of influence. That means I am the government's raisin in the sun, capital card pay listing as the president of the United States. And all these men in arms under a military guns post are beneath the borders as an instant contact sports playing all day. Losing all these lives are still shown as this is an infiltration of this government illegally. Squaring off his government business, billing all of our houses for the taxation support. This means military men and war victims listing without a government paycheck. That means being a shapeout as migrants inside the United States government are to begin a self-deportation or being returned by the United States government enforcement. Now waste no more time in trying to apprehend portals as post office filing for Labor Day as Daytona, Ohio filing last lines. All are dates as our household pets, bringing them into the United States unaccompanied. This must now fold as government's orders. I said so. Being a startup shakedown. Now the ICE agents will apprehend and no more release into our communities as deportation orders are to be fulfilled as the procedures being called. Overstaying visas as Vista printing tax time, evading charges as no one may wire, cause the United States this defeat, defending mafia's empires, bringing them all back to ICE headquarters as deportation is commanded. I said so. ICE is to begin raids on all job sites as to alleviate all this missing, mismanagement, children, grown-ups, adults, missing ballots being shown as gun running ops illegally. All 50 states and all doorways. FBI has begun the coordination action, began a final stance as cases are closing records, check filings as this was a final battle. The land shipper charges us all of our houses. Defunct these helper unions, showing that we are not allowed to help the mob bring guns into all of our communities and used against our civilians and start up turf wars as territory spills. This was made simple. Site call location is bird-eye communication. Now millions of men and women have been detained today as handcuffed ballots, as protest arrests, hand ballot boxes, and now falling as use of no more welfare names from all of these hides. All government guns are shown as this military housing, misrepresenting play fades as listings, being shown as military commission, being guards patrol only. To border seal off, as none may walk up into this land, be taken into handcuffs, and simply have placing in the United States. This was improper orders as they have committed felonies. No governor may command over the military as anyone inside the government's ring. legal level skilled works is this call as a listing. Vagrancy last line enemies have gone on this long as lawlessness and recklessness on the U.S. soil. That means facing off on this shoulder to missile, attacking backgrounds as black men late date filings, surface protocol, and tactical advisement is shown as shut down the White House as this Congress seeks to breach database records. No more tax time credits, out of jurisdiction credit, Black Ops failures, Black Rain, Black Water, Mississippi Rain codes. Housing all of these detention centers as improperly staffing illegal migrants as the governance over the country. A country code expense as beginning to deportation orders only. This was all that was allowed in the IRS community as daycare facility, finding loads of children, and last line as daycare filings, beginner return border policy, as all Mexico government is to receive its civilians, as a code class violation shown that organizing crime has been seen. Education pay listing. The men and women are seen as just an absolute outright breaking the laws of the United States as a sovereign land. Tax dollar support now halts from securing all of these houses as a one location abroad ID. Now lose it all. I said so.